Belly fat isn't just about how your jeans fit or what the scale says when you step on it in the morning. It's way deeper than that. And honestly, it's quietly wrecking a lot of people's mental health without them even realizing it. In the US especially, where stress is sky high, fast food is everywhere, and sitting all day is basically normal life. Belly fat has become this sneaky problem that messes with your head as much as your body. People think it's only a physical issue, but the truth is that excess belly fat can seriously impact mood, confidence, focus, motivation, and even long-term brain health. It's not about shame or blame. It's about understanding what's really going on so you can take your power back. What makes belly fat different from fat in other areas is that it's metabolically active. This isn't just extra padding. Visceral fat, the deep belly fat that wraps around your organs, pumps out inflammatory chemicals and stress hormones that directly affect your brain. When inflammation goes up in the body, it doesn't just stay in your gut. It travels through your bloodstream and messes with neurotransmitters, like serotonin and dopamine, the same brain chemicals that control happiness, calmness, and motivation. That's one reason people carrying extra belly fat often feel low, anxious, foggy, or just emotionally drained for no clear reason. It's not weakness, it's biology. Stress plays a massive role in this whole mess. Chronic stress cranks up cortisol, your main stress hormone, and cortisol loves belly fat. High cortisol tells your body to store fat right in your midsection, like it's preparing for some kind of apocalypse. At the same time, cortisol messes with sleep, increases cravings for sugar and junk food, and makes it harder to think clearly, so you get stuck in this brutal loop. Stress causes belly fat increases inflammation, inflammation worsens mental health, and poor mental health makes stress even worse. It's a vicious cycle that can feel impossible to escape if you don't know what's happening under the hood. One of the most overlooked effects of belly fat on mental health is brain fog. People describe it as feeling spaced out, slow, or mentally tired even after a full night of sleep. Excess belly fat is strongly linked to insulin resistance, which doesn't just affect blood sugar, but also how the brain uses energy. When your brain cells aren't getting fuel efficiently, your thinking feels sluggish, memory gets shaky, and decision-making becomes harder. That mental drag can make everyday tasks feel overwhelming, which chips away at confidence and self-esteem over time. Anxiety and depression also have strong connections to belly fat. Studies have shown that people with higher amounts of visceral fat are more likely to experience symptoms of depression and chronic anxiety. Inflammation again is a big player here, because it interferes with how the brain regulates emotions. On top of that, hormonal imbalances caused by excess fat can throw mood completely out of whack. For men, lower testosterone linked to belly fat can cause low energy, irritability, and depressed mood. For women, belly fat can disrupt estrogen balance, leading to mood swings, anxiety, and emotional burnout. Then there's the psychological weight of belly fat, which is just as heavy as the physical kind. Living in a culture obsessed with appearance can mess with your head fast. When people feel uncomfortable in their own body, they tend to avoid social situations, photos, dating, and even career opportunities. That isolation slowly eats away at mental health. You might cancel plans, dodge mirrors, or constantly compare yourself to others on social media, which fuels negative self-talk and self-doubt. Over time, that kind of mental stress can turn into chronic anxiety or depression. Sleep is another huge piece of the puzzle that people ignore. Belly fat increases the risk of sleep apnea and poor sleep quality, even if you don't realize it's happening. Poor sleep wrecks mental health. It makes emotions harder to regulate, increases irritability, lowers motivation, and boosts cravings for unhealthy food the next day. When sleep is off, stress hormones rise, and guess what they target? Yep, belly fat. So once again, the cycle keeps spinning, unless you break it intentionally. Belly fat also affects gut health, and your gut and brain are basically best friends. The gut-brain connection is real, and an unhealthy gut can seriously mess with mental health. Excess belly fat is associated with an imbalance in gut bacteria, which can increase inflammation and negatively affect mood and cognition. When your gut microbiome is out of balance, your body produces fewer feel-good chemicals and more stress signals. That can show up as irritability, low mood, anxiety, and even panic-like symptoms that seem to come out of nowhere. Another mental hit comes from low energy levels. Carrying extra belly fat makes simple activities feel harder than they should. When your energy is constantly low, motivation tanks. You might want to work out, eat better, or be more social, but mentally you just feel wiped out. That lack of energy often gets misinterpreted as laziness or lack of willpower, which leads to guilt and shame. Over time, that negative self-judgment can seriously damage mental health and self-worth. What really sucks is that belly fat often doesn't respond well to extreme dieting or over-the-top workout routines, especially when stress is high. People go hard, burn out, see little progress, and feel even worse mentally. That failure mindset becomes another mental burden. The truth is, lowering belly fat requires a calmer, more balanced approach that actually supports mental health. Instead of punishing the body, the good news is that when people start reducing belly fat in a healthy way, mental health improvements often show up fast. Better sleep, more stable moods, clearer thinking, and higher confidence are common wins. Even small changes can shift the body out of survival mode. Walking regularly, strength training a few times a week, eating more whole foods, cutting back on ultra-processed junk, and managing stress through breathing, sunlight, or downtime can all help. You don't need perfection. You need consistency and patience. It's also important to ditch the idea that belly fat equals failure. That mindset alone causes massive mental harm. Belly fat is often a signal, not a flaw. It's your body saying it's overwhelmed, stressed, under-rested, or inflamed. When you listen instead of punish, both physical and mental health start improving together. Self-compassion is not soft, it's strategic. People who approach fat loss with self-respect and realistic expectations tend to stick with it longer and feel better mentally. Along the way, social support matters too. When people stop isolating themselves and start talking openly about their struggles, mental pressure drops. You realize you're not broken or alone. A lot of Americans are dealing with the same combo of stress, belly fat, anxiety, and burnout. Sharing that load, whether with friends, family, or a professional, can make a huge difference. Mental health doesn't improve in isolation, and neither does physical health long-term. Ignoring belly fat isn't just about looks or mood. It can impact brain health as you age. Chronic inflammation and insulin resistance are linked to cognitive decline and memory problems later in life. Taking action now isn't about chasing abs. It's about protecting your mind for the future. When you frame it that way, the motivation shifts from self-criticism to self-care, and that alone reduces stress. At the end of the day, belly fat and mental health are deeply connected, whether we like it or not. One feeds the other, for better or worse. When belly fat goes unchecked, it can quietly drain your mental energy, confidence, and emotional stability. But when you start addressing it with smarter habits and less stress, your mental health often rebounds in powerful ways. You think clearer, feel calmer, sleep better, and show up stronger in your daily life. That's the real win, and it's 100% worth going after. Primary keywords included belly fat, mental health, visceral fat, stress hormones, cortisol levels, inflammation, insulin resistance, anxiety and depression, gut health, weight loss journey.